Honorable Ben Kalu, a member of the House of Representatives from Abia State, member of the APC, is a favorite of the APC for the Deputy Speaker position. Thank you so much, Honorable Kalu, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Shane, for having me. Friends, glad to have you here.
From being a spokesperson of the House to potentially being a Deputy Speaker, how does that feel for you?
For me, it feels good, though I wanted to be the Speaker of the 10th Assembly. But being a party man, having served the party well by making sure that my image-making responsibility for the 9th Assembly was carried efficiently well, as I was told, making sure that rancor-free National Assembly was achieved between horizontal relationship among members and vertically between our arm of government and that of the executive, understanding the workings of all the committees of the House, knowing how to resolve their problem before it gets to the press, presenting an image that has increased the confidence of the people, the activities of the National Assembly. I felt I was well-rounded to be the Speaker of the House, especially when you consider the fact that for 40 years, that is 4 decades, except when you consider the last time the Southeasterners held the gavel in the House of Representatives, the time of Right Honorable Edwin Umozo, okay? The Southeasterners have not held the gavel, so I felt it was time for us to step into that particular space. But the party is supreme. The party, in their wisdom, decided that what was due for the Southeast at the moment will be the Deputy Speakership position. And in every democratic climb, be it the United States under Republican or under the Democrats, the party will always point at the direction that they want to go with regards to forming the architecture of government in view of the national objectives they have set for themselves to achieve. And these national objectives must be achieved with an arm of government that buys into that same national objective. So that always guides them to make sure that what they have preached in their manifesto will be given wheels to become reality in the lives of Nigerians. So it is a careful responsibility that must be carried by the leadership of the party and major stakeholders. And I'm sure that is what the party has done at this time, pointing at the direction that they want for their party members to go. Not the entire National Assembly. Some people get it wrong and say that the party has a zone and micro-zone and all that. The party owes the members of the party the responsibility to point at the direction. And that is what they have done. And for me, being asked to run for Deputy Speakership of the House, I'm happy that my party considered my effort, my party considered my loyalty, my party considered my dedication and steadfastness with the party in the Southeast, being the only returning member of the House of Representatives under APC in Abia State. It was a tough one because of the wave, but we stood our ground. My campaign office was shot at with over 100 bullets. We were intimidated, we were threatened, assassins sent, but we insisted that where the party stood will be where we'll stand. And we did that till we got the victory.
Do you think the Southeast in a Tinubu presidency deserves such a position like the Deputy Speaker of the House?
Of course, we do. I think that
Tinubu got 127,605 votes in the entire 5 states. No governor. He didn't get not even 25% in any of the states in the Southeast.
The difference between Tinubu's administration and maybe other administrations we've had is that this is a man who has fought under Nadeko. He's a true Democrat and does not look at only the number of votes. Yes, as a human being, it will affect him. He will be sentimental about it. But generally speaking, this is a Democrat who understands the impact of constitutional democracy. And the Constitution says in Section 14, federal character should be an element to be considered.
But again, Honorable, this is politics,
yes,
right?
Yes.
When we get to issue of governance, where it is statutory, for example, composing cabinet, which is statutory. It's in the Constitution.
No, it's part of it.
But just a moment, this is politics where your effort is being rewarded. That is the nature of politics. You win an election just because you make an effort and you got the vote. You look at the states like North Central region. Out of the 6 states in the North Central, they have 4 governors. He gave Bola Tinubu the 3rd highest votes across all the regions. Compared to your region, a lot of the agitation has come that for a region like the Southeast to be considered for such a presiding officer position is rather unfair and uncharitable.
No, you can't say that. And,
no, it's not me saying it.
Okay,
These are the agitation from your political party. And based on the numbers, I mean, how would you jettison a region like the North Central, for example? Or what do you say
let's start from
for a region like the North Central that is being left out of the scheme of things and being picked over by Southeast, a region that did not even give Bola Tinubu any presence?
Let me mention this, that the difference between the administration that we're expecting from our president-elect and others is that he knows the importance of planning early. The journey to 2027 election starts with what we do now, the foundation we lay now. And if you're talking about interest in commanding cohesion in the country, national cohesion, that will inspire national loyalty, you must start now to give that inclusive element to be very obvious.
The author of injustice
cannot be called injustice.
That's what your members, that's what your party members are making reference to.
That is a weak argument, because we are talking about what is beyond election. We're talking about nation building. When you talk about nation building, you forget about sentiments, forget about emotions. You look at the strongest argument, and the strongest argument here, Sheon, is how do we make a diversity-sensitive leadership, nation-building effort that will incorporate the beautiful coloration of all the diverse parts of the country coming together to work for what we preach. We say the unity, peace, and progress. And for that to be achieved, every part of this nation, you will recall that, or you may recall that in the last 4 years, the Southeast was not holding any presiding officer's position. And it has impacted on this election, among other things. And I can assure you, if you neglect Southeast again, a whole zone, in such sensitive position, then you battle again in 2027. That is a big risk for any great planner to take, because if you start now to plan and adopt this spirit of inclusion, Southeast is going to yield a better harvest than what was yielded before. So I know he's a great planner. I know that the party is, filled with, strategists who have sat down, considered so many factors and said, for my region, Southeast, we need it back into the fold. We need the votes to be harvested from there. And if we're going to achieve that, a sense of belonging must be given to them. Come on, Sheon.
Honorable,
if we cannot get...
You don't think this is a case of robbing Peter to pay Paul? You are a lawmaker. Yes. You know the principle of majority. Yes. The principle of majority guides the affairs of parliament, yes, legislature, yes, across the globe where democracy, yes, is being practiced. And the fact they say, the principle that minority might have their say, but majority will have their way. And I mean, perhaps seeing a reason why some North Central members of your party are saying that there is an injustice being meted out on them if they are put in the work and they are not being considered at all over a region like the Southeast region that rejected their party, and now they are being favored and they are being they are benefiting from where they did not work.
Sheon, you are forgetting vital issues. That in considering forming a government that will work for the country, that there are certain things you consider beyond the parliament. And even within the parliament, you should be conscious of our unique nature. Nigeria is a secular state. You know that we have president-elect as a Muslim at the moment, the vice president, Muslim. And you know that if we have in the House a Muslim speaker and you have North Central as a deputy speaker who definitely might be a Muslim, is not going to show a beautiful picture of a secular state. So while you consider other factors, there are other higher factors that must be factored in the decision-making mechanism.
So
by the
where
time
were you
it comes
factored
out,
in? What gave rise to your nomination?
One,
you're being favored.
I have mentioned to you about my zone. We've not been there for donkey years, and we want to be included now. The party is considering that, and also the party also want to reward loyalty. And the labels that we have shown in fighting for the party is shopping for competence, capacity, credibility. The party is looking for those
so you're the most credible and the most fit for that role in your region.
It is for the party to decide. It's not. I can't blow
not
my
because
trumpet, but
those who say that you are a friend of the institutions within and around Bola Tinubu. That's why you are being favored.
I don't think it would be fair to allow to judge Tinubu's decision-making or the party's decision-making mechanism or strategy or prowess on the grounds of me being a member.
That you're close to the inner
I'm close to the party.
And that's why you're favored.
I'm close to the party. As a member of the party, you must be close to the party. I didn't betray the party.
Are you worried?
I never betrayed the party.
Yes. Just a moment. Are you worried that in all of this, because you are being handpicked for this position, the already label, it's bad enough that the 9th Assembly is being labeled by some Nigerians as a rubber stamp National Assembly, and now going into the 10th National Assembly, that label might succeed because you are going to also answer to the whistle of the person who handpicked you. Or those who handpicked you.
What a romantic description that Nigerians and some journalists have accepted to use as a label for the National Assembly that has delivered more than other assemblies. I think we should be fair in attaching labels. You know very well that our track record shows that we have outperformed.
You don't think that this
I don't think that the description is fit for the job that we have done. We made PIB become PIA. We have looked at the constitutional review, and we sent in 35 and we got 16 back out of the sections of the Constitution that we sent to Mr. President. You know the list of achievement that we've made. I'm not sure time will allow us to go through that. To come around the Electoral Act that all of us are talking about now, you know it was obsolete. You know Kama was obsolete. And these ones have been renewed. Through legislative interventions, a better drafting that suits the dynamics of the current time. And to ignore all those and then begin to describe us as rubber stamp because we don't wear boxing gloves, as if, let me finish, as if wearing of boxing gloves is an exhibition of an efficient legislature. It is not. The size of our boxing gloves should not be what determines how effective we have been. The acrimony, the rancor, is not the true definition of an effective and efficient legislature. Well, it is a legislature that understands that though we are three arms of government, but we are one government with one national objective, and buys into that national objective to make sure that the success of the executive is the success of the legislature. Then you know we are part of the government. To select yourself.
Honorable, but half the disappointment comes from where most Nigerians are the point where they thought some of you guys will stand up for their wish, for their right, when many Nigerians were being killed, insecurity in the land, and they thought that in the National Assembly there are people who will speak up and stand up to the executive when Ways and Means funds from Ways and Means are being expended, and there are question marks on how that is being done, and there are requests from the executive that Nigerians are not happy with. The National Assembly in this time are just signing off, and a lot of issues. They are too numerous to count, and those are the moments perhaps Nigerians are asking, Can these guys who are elected into the National Assembly stand up and speak truth to power to an executive that just takes things to them and they just pass it? That is what they describe as rubber stamp.
And I want to tell you that the office belongs to Nigerians. The office of the citizens of Nigerians own our positions. It doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the people. And they have the right to ask questions. And it's not this parliament that is the only parliament that is being asked questions all around the world.
So when you describe your parliament as a rubber stamp parliament, are they not right when they feel that you have not stand up and fight for their right? In terms of oversight, in terms of lawmaking, in terms of representation?
I'm surprised you're saying this, Sean, because you have followed our activities closely. I'm surprised.
I'm asking you to defend yourself in the face of the right-thinking Nigerians who are criticizing and who are asking that what would the National Assembly say they have done for a government that promised security and hundreds of Nigerians are being killed. That's the government that has promised that economy will be better, and you know the exchange rate. What has the National Assembly done to reverse that? For a government that promised that it's going to fight corruption, you're hearing the enormous amount of money, government funds that have been stolen under this government. What has the National Assembly done to it? The manner in which of the performance of the MDAs under this government, in the eyes of this National Assembly, those whom they say they elected to represent them, what has your National Assembly done? And that's perhaps where they come to the point of saying, you guys are just rubber stamp.
I say, Femi, I keep calling you Femi.
Because Femi is your very good friend.
Yeah, he's my very good friend. I won't deny him. He's my very good friend. It's amazing to hear that the interventions of the legislature, which you know have been carried out by the Ninth Assembly, is not within your reach. I say so because you know the amount of laws, bills that have been passed into laws with regards to security. You saw what we did with the defense when issues of insecurity came up. You saw the security summit that produced over six bills after the summit. You saw what we have done with education. You saw how we intervened when there was strike by ASU and all the rest of them. You saw our legislative interventions there. You know, this is normal in every parliamentary democracy. The people want more. But in order to adjudge the Ninth Assembly's performance, it should do a comparative analysis. I expect you to do the comparative analysis because you know, because you are
being employed by Nigerians. Yes. You are being paid on a daily basis to do your job.
Yes, and we are doing
bad optics about how you do your job. It is your business to be able to correct
there are documents we have published and we sent to your office. I'm sure you have the Green Chamber magazine, which has the documented efforts of the legislature from the onset till now. The Ninth Assembly have catalogued all the laws in all the sectors, all the legislative intervention in all the sectors. Grab a copy because your program is not enough for us to go through all of them. And they were happening live, and some of them you covered them live. Your channel covered them live.
I'm not talking about this
to give us.
I'm talking about Nigerians.
Nigerians.
Over 200 million of them, and several millions who think that your parliament is a rubber stamp parliament. But if you go on and on, I'm very sure you will exhaust all your energy because I have just loads and loads of complaints about your performance.
Definitely, it's expected in every parliamentary democracy.
But you need to correct
that. There will always
need to show Nigerians that what the amount they are being paid in salaries and wages to you lawmakers, you making it count for the benefit of Nigerians.
We are making it count. If not so, we will not be where we are at the moment. If the legislature, they are not making the salaries count, we won't be where we are at the moment. And like I said, the records are there. And you are at liberty to invite us for that specifically.
The cool, luxurious vehicles and those luxurious lives that Nigerians have put you guys to be able to account for it and let Nigerians, just for us to wrap this up.
Yes.
How much of support are you getting, yourself and Honorable Tajudeen Abbas, and those who have sworn that they will fight the decision of the APC to the last minute in June, when the National Assembly will be inaugurated and it will be up for election?
Yeah, as you know, this is democracy, and all the people who have shown interest to contest, they are all well qualified to run for this position. And all we can do is, when party has pointed to the direction it has pointed, many will be aggrieved, what you do is not to ignore them. What you do is not to do, take it for granted that the party has anointed you and it is an easy sell. No. What we are doing is deliberately taking steps towards making these members buy into the party's position and asking the party to look at what is being presented and what is the agitation from the people.
How many
and
members
I can assure you
in your favor now?
Well, we have over 250 with us at the moment.
Over 250
across various political parties. Forget about what you hear.
What about the larger majority, the group that call themselves the greater majority?
The greater majority's strengths have been weakened because after the pronouncement, many of the members of the greater majorities have seen reasons to align with the ruling party's position. And I can assure you, in the next coming days, you begin to see the trickle effect of the negotiations that we are having with most of them. And I also would like to let you know that the candidates who are also agitating, they were shortchanged, are beginning to feel the impact that we are reaching out more to people and we are bringing more people to our food. They were 15 before, from there to 10, from there to now about 7. Yeah. And we have only about 5 now that is remaining, which means we are reaching out the more, and it's not by force. Like I said, they have every right. Like you talk about North Central, I've asked the question as well, and I'm sure my party has a plan to accommodate North Central, India, and
we're out of strategy. Time, but in 30 seconds, what was it that Bola Tinubu was asking from you guys when he handpicked you guys?
Handpicked?
That's the information we're getting.
That's the wrong information.
And the party said so. Just a moment. Yes. They consulted the president-elect, the vice president-elect, to come to that decision.
The president and the vice president-elect, among other stakeholders, are major stakeholders on the stakeholders administration list of the party.
But what were they asking
if a decision is going to be taken, that decision will be taken with the stakeholders. So to say handpick, no, Bola Tinubu did not handpick anybody.
But that's
the party did.
But that's one way to say you are being handpicked.
It's not true. The party.
But what were they asking of you?
Asking of us
to support you, to support the government when they get into office. So
they are not making any demands from us. We know our mandate. The constitutional mandate is clear on the responsibility of the legislature. Nobody will tell us what to do. We understand the borderlines of the doctrine of separation of power, and we will know, even though we understand that we are 3 arms of government, that we are pursuing one objective, but we must respect the borderlines of doctrine of separation of power for the interest of Nigeria.
What would you do?
Should I lose?
Yeah. What would you do?
Honestly, I'll continue being a parliamentarian. I'm already here, but I know I will not lose because the people are with us.
Honorable Ben Kalu, APC is favorite for the Deputy Speaker position in the 10th National Assembly. Thank you so much indeed for coming.
Thank you for having me, sir.
I appreciate it.